It really is as simple as just typing /describe, choosing the prompt, dragging on your image, and pressing enter, and waiting a few seconds. And from that, MidJourney gives you wonderful descriptions of your images and prompts that might achieve similar looking images. And you don't even have to copy paste them. You can just hit 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it'll render those images for you. And within a minute or so, MidJourney will deliver you a bunch of images that are very similar to the one that you gave it. In this case, a photograph I took with my Canon R5C. Now, some of these look similar. They may not have the same stylistic characteristics, but I can fix that. Some of them may take on a whole different style entirely, which is fine. Some of them look pretty damn close, if not for a little bit of lack of photorealism. And then some just go in a completely different direction, but completely fit the vibe of the images you were working with in the first place. And there's something really inspiring and creatively motivating about that. MidJourney's new Describe feature is incredible. It's super powerful, can really amplify your creativity, but it also kind of gives us a peek behind the curtain at some of the prompt magic that MidJourney does and how you can use that to your advantage. I'm Addy, welcome back to Analog Dreams. This is a channel all about boosting your creativity with the various technology available. So we have traditional art, kind of videos on here, but we also have AI art related stuff. And this is about MidJourney, the AI art generator that runs through Discord. I have it running in my own private server. I have a video linked below on how you can do that if you're a paying member of MidJourney. And they just introduced with the V5 update a new feature called Describe. And Describe is effectively the clip interrogator process that I showed previously for Stable Diffusion, in that you feed it an image, and this works on mobile or desktop, and it tries to deconstruct that image based on what it knows from the prompts and from its training to give you prompts that would generate that image. And as you can see, we got some stuff that is very, very close, and then some stuff that kind of gets away from it. I am blown away by how closely this group of images here, which does not look really like the source image at all, still captures that vibe. The image that I fed it is from my fall collection of photography that I took using my Canon R5C. Most of these were taken at the Red River Gorge National Park in Kentucky. I'm going to flash a series of images up on screen at you, and they are a blend of my, again, like 45 megapixel still photography and MidJourney images. Can you tell which ones don't belong without a ton of scrutiny? Probably not. That's what's so cool about this. Now, obviously, there's some degree of quality. We're talking a massive, resolution difference. We're also talking, in the one picture that was the couple pictures that have a person in it that's supposed to be me from when my wife took a picture of me taking pictures on my phone. The person gets a little wonky, but like at a glance, these completely blend in with the rest. I even took the time to edit them up in mostly the same process that I edited my raw photos in Lightroom with. I didn't do a lot of the masking and stuff for sake of time, but I had a lot of fun kind of putting these through, my normal editing presets and dehancer and things like that to really make them match the vibes I was going for with the original photos. And honestly, I think they fit right in. The reflections in V5 that you get now are just insane. Like that is perfect. Some of them aren't great, but the fact that you can blend in with real photos and kind of expand your portfolio, or maybe you're like, man, I wish I got a shot of this. I wish I had expanded the angle or gotten a different angle, expanded my shots on this. You can kind of build that up and at least see what it would look like, maybe get ideas for next time or something like that. This feature can be used with images from anything. So I took two earlier. I'll show you some of my process just because I think people would find it interesting. I do a lot of my work when I'm in the house with my kiddo on my iPad Pro. And so my workflow usually involves having Discord up on one side and Notion, which is a kind of mood board / major document hub. It's like an all-in-one office document mind tool. It goes way overkill with features and stuff like that. But what it lets you do is quickly add in text and images and things like that. And so I was going through with source images and the prompts and just kind of gathering what worked and what I liked most, feeding it my images. And then I went a little haywire and started feeding it other people's MidJourney images and Adobe Firefly images to see what it could do. So these are all trained photos. If we scroll back up to the top here, I gathered some photos that I wanted to mess with from the MidJourney community tab. I didn't end up using most of these, but I fed it this shot, which is pretty good other than the weird zombie skin thing that MidJourney does sometimes. That's a pretty solid image. Not the most photorealistic, but a good rendering of this person in this kind of New York City kind of style. After I went through the describe feature, which my biggest complaint of the describe feature is the post that it shows you those prompts in isn't permanent. Like when you make an image, this just stays here unless you delete it or delete the text channel in Discord. This stays here. The describe post that pops up goes away after a little bit, or on mobile if you just click off of the channel. And so I can't see this anymore, which is why, even though it uses up more credits, pretty much always render out each of the 4 options, or I'm taking notes of which are which. But like I started rendering out some of the prompts that it gave me, and while these don't look exactly like the same girl, they are starting to look a lot more photorealistic, which is fascinating. And from there, I fed it a picture from my Instagram of my CRT wall, which is right here. This is from my Instagram. Blurry photo, whatever, but you get the idea. It's my CRT wall. That to work with. And it came up with some interesting ideas of like 5 giant TVs on a table and stuff like that. And I really liked this one that looked like a news station or a TV repair shop or something like that. We got some cool results there. Over here, we see it getting into the messy kind of painterly MidJourney territory. This one looked awesome, but again, too much messy detail. And then, yeah, it just kind of fell apart there. Admittedly, a bunch of TVs on shelves is very difficult for MidJourney to cope with. But then I fed it, again, a picture of me. Do I have it saved up here? Yeah, this is a picture my wife took on their cell phone. In from a screenshot of my Instagram, me taking pictures at the Red River Gorge. And I fed it that and was trying to generate, like, hey, what about some different angles of me? And the prompts do a pretty solid job. A big mistake here that I made is not feeding it the source image that I was referencing as an image prompt. And that is going to be the super secret trick of the video, is most people, myself included, are going to hit that button and just fire off the prompts that it gives you. But you can use the image that you uploaded in the first place as a source image for an image prompt. So I can right click, copy image link. I can't do the /describe prompts anymore because, you know, it went away, but I can do /imagine. I can paste in that link, delete all the part after the file extension. So I just want the .png, and then go up here and copy paste prompts that I was using that I liked, like this one I really liked. Copy that prompt, paste it at the end, and render that out. And that is going to stick a lot more towards your source image, as you see here, as it tries to generate that based on, you know, both the prompt that /describe broke down for your image and the image prompt that you fed. Now, if we take a look at our source image here, again, blurry because it's cropped in from an Instagram screenshot, but that's me on the rocks in the trees, and compare it to these now. Framing wise, it's a lot more similar. You don't have the same pose with the camera. It didn't pick up any of those. I could add a variation with that detail, you know, iterative, improve your image, but we're getting a lot closer to that original image, which is fascinating. I love this so much. Okay, so to refresh you on the workflow before we go further on what it reveals about the secrets of MidJourney's algorithms or syntax, for lack of a better word, I grabbed some images from the MidJourney community feed, like this one of the astronaut in the flower field, and there's a couple others I grabbed. And obviously, I've shown you before, you can actually just copy the prompt for a given image right here. Copy full command will give you all the extra flags. Copy prompt will just give you the text. You could do that. But I think it's more interesting to take a look at what MidJourney thinks the prompt should be for that image and compare it to what the prompt actually was, because I have struggled to get the same looking image by copying a prompt, which is fine, but I want to see if we can have better luck either combining the two prompts or using the image as an image reference or whatever. So the process again is /describe, and this works both for MidJourney and the MidJourney anime version, but we're just going to use the normal MidJourney one. Now, you should be able to click, choose a file, upload a file, but every time I have done this, it doesn't actually work for the click. So we're gonna do the space already. Yeah, see, nothing happens. I don't know why. It works fine on mobile, but on here it doesn't. But we can just drag in right here. Now we're good. And hit enter and let it do its thing. It has now attached a second copy of the file. We can get rid of that. And now we have some prompts. Now you want to, again, take note of these, Notepad, Notion, however, or just copy it right into the Discord thing. Like I can literally just go in here and be like, shabam, shabam. And then I have those saved for me. You may want to attach the image with it when you do that. So like, here, I'll delete this message. I can literally just We can drag on the image with those prompts, and now we know, and just have that saved. Or we could create a whole separate channel dedicated to prompts that have been recreated that don't generate new images in, so that we can keep track of them. Lots of tips there. But now we can see an astronaut is laying down in flowers in the style of photorealistic surrealism, dark pink, and name some artists. I would always recommend when you're generating prompts for anything you're going to use for any real use case. I'm just showing you in a video. I'm not going to publish this anywhere. But for anything you're going to use in a real use case, get rid of artist names. Just don't do it. Bad idea. I wish MidJourney would just get rid of them. But we have a bunch of different prompts. Astronaut laying down in flowers, among the flowers, in the flowers and mushrooms. Man and woman in spacesuits. There's only one. Sure. But then if we go back to this one, high texture quality photo of biomechanical astronaut lying in a meadow of pink dahlia flowers, golden hour, like a 50mm f1.4 night. What this reveals to me is how much of the extra legwork MidJourney's intelligence, whatever, compensation, is doing behind the scenes to create a in-depth prompt enough to create an image. Because what we have always known about MidJourney is you could feed it just about anything and it would give you a detailed image, because it's more or less coming up with the rest of the prompt itself has always been kind of the theory. And I think this kind of confirms it. Obviously, we don't get the actual prompt. It's just deconstructing the image and trying to generate it. But if it thinks you need all these things to get there, then it's probably adding similar style things into the prompt whenever you type in a basic prompt like this. So we're going to try each of these. And again, I'm going to use that as the reference. Again, delete everything after the image extension. So .png, all of that is fine. Submit. Number 2. Submit. Number 3. Submit. Number 4. Submit. And then we are going to take whichever one gets the closest and run it again with some details from the original prompt, is my goal here. So we'll give it a second to do its thing. Honestly, amazingly, one of these is still waiting to start, but like, this is our source image. These get really close. Again, having that image as the image reference helps. But these are already like right there. Like, I am very impressed. I am going to take it a step further though. Which one do I like the best? Let me look back at our original. I'm going to go with number 4 here. Nah, I'm going to go with number 3. All right, we're going to do this prompt with that image prompt. So /imagine. All of that left the same, but we're also going to include these things that are basically not included in that original prompt. And we're going to put it at the front. So high texture quality photo of a biomechanical astronaut lying in a meadow of pink dahlia flowers. So now we no longer need astronaut lying down in flowers. We have all the stuff from the original prompt, all the stuff from the new describe prompt. We're going to fire that off. Oh, that one finally. Whenever you use image prompts now, it shows the image until it starts generating. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature that they decided to change to. I'm not sure. All right, now we're getting really good results, getting very close to the original style. And this is useful because if you're going to make modifications, if you're going to do additive prompting, which is taking what you like and continuing to build off of it from there, you want to get as close to whatever you were aiming for in the first place as possible. So we're going to take this first image. I'm going to do variation. We're going to leave everything the same. So we have our image prompt. We have the fusion of the two prompts. But we're going to say, instead of pink dahlia flowers, we're going to say blue dahlia flowers. Golden hour, like f1.4. It says night. It's not night, it's golden hour. I don't know why that was in the original prompt. We have all this extra stuff. But we're going to just change the color of the flowers and see if we can handle that. I keep forgetting I have quality 2 by default on my flags, so it takes a little longer than usual. We did not end up with blue flowers. It changed a lot about the image. Oh, wait, no. That is that older prompt finally catching up. Wow. MidJourney gets caught up sometimes. That's the one that says man and a woman. That's hilarious. Here's the blue dahlia flowers one. Yeah, it did not change the color of the flowers. That's wild. Well, in theory, what if we do this? Same thing. Just say blue flowers. Cinematic looking blue flowers. Reiterate that flowers should be blue. This one went in wild directions. Look at that one laying down. The flowers are slowly turning blue though. Those are yellow and orange. So we were able to start changing the color of the flowers, but at the cost of the strictness of sticking to that image prompt. So we're gonna try it again with blue anemone flowers as my last attempt to prove my point, because it's valid. I just can't demo it live as usual. The more you use it, the more you get insight into the weird words and ideas that MidJourney uses to describe your images that you may not have even thought of. One thing I encountered that I thought was hilarious is I was trying to use the MidJourney one, and I think it applies to MidJourney too. And one of the things it tried to generate from my picture was part of a URL. You see it here, it says Missouri http://www. And then it errored out because that wasn't a real link and it was trying to use it as an image reference. I don't know how in their system it got tagged with the start of a link, but I find it really fascinating. But as we take a dive through, because it doesn't want to generate the rest of this, I think it's really interesting to look at the things it comes up with for images. For example, there is a lot of focus on, especially my photography ones, on specifying cameras that it was taken with. And I do find it strange that it specifies so many, because we've got in the style of Nikon D850, and then we've got Olympus XA, Olympus XA2, Olympus XA2, Olympus XA2. MidJourney came up with that. Why? It really wanted it to look like it was taken with an Olympus XA2, I guess. Those kinds of things you might not necessarily think about. But then if we scroll up to like this one, another interesting thing to note is it always starts with more of like a more natural language worded description. Like sunrise time, image of brown leaves over a rocky trail. Or down here, we had astronaut laying in flowers and mushrooms. Like, there's usually a couple real language written things and then a bunch of added on terms, where I think a lot of people just start with a bunch of terms together. That narrative description kind of helps. But then you get some interesting ones like UHD image. I knew like 4K, 8K, 16K somehow influence it. Didn't think about UHD image. Happenings, just on its own. And then this backs up that last MidJourney like prompt flavor tips video that I did, and I still haven't made the follow-ups for that. I'm really sorry, things have been crazy. But turning everything into core, like hardcore, or into punk, like glitch punk, cyberpunk. Warm core is repeated over and over. I don't think warm core is a thing. Like if we search for that, warm core is a thing. An aesthetic related to cottagecore, naturecore. I didn't know naturecore was a thing. So you see, you'll learn a little bit of these things where it's just these weird stylistic things. And again, in a Graflex speed graphic, orange and gold, scroll up a little more. Forest punk? Is that really a style? Is that a thing? It is. It's an aesthetic. I think it just pulled like, I'm imagining in their training, they pulled a massive list of just general online listed styles and aesthetics that they're referencing here. But I would have never thought to include forest punk, but it helped. Photo taken with Provia. Lyrical landscapes. Lyrical. But I went for it. Beige and amber. Nature-inspired installations. I love the inclusion of Facebook, because that has to have just been picked up from scraping people's Facebook photos, which is yikes. But also, of course, you do pick up, different artist impressions to go with, which, like I said before, isn't ideal. Mana punk. I don't even know what mana punk is either. 1970 to present. But you get to see all these little like tidbits that you can then include into your other ones, like lo-fi aesthetics. A lot of them had hashtag VFX Friday if you wanted to have like a CG look. You could include that. Hike core, for hiking, because these are all like hiking photos. Atmospheric urbanscapes. This isn't really urban, it's nature, but hey. Again, more cameras that you might not have thought of in the style of analog filmmaking. Yeah, that's not wrong. Commission for. Like, it doesn't even say who it's for. It just says commission for. But you can use these. Like I said, open up something like Notion, like I showed in my iPad workflow. Open up Notepad. Make a whole new Discord channel. Find some organization system that works for you, where you can take note of the most consistent elements of your favorite prompts. And then you can start informing your prompting for your future images based on those. And I think I'm gonna, before I actually make the part 2 to my prompt flavoring video, I'm gonna spend a lot of time with the describe feature, like a few weeks, and I'm gonna build that list of what I think for certain styles. Obviously, there's no end of like styles and aesthetics and genres that could be covered here, and so I can't cover everything, but I think I'm gonna go through at least stuff that I like and try to get some common through line of these weird phrases that I can reference for you all, and hopefully help you kind of inform your decisions a little better. I think it finally rendered out this final image. We still never got those blue flowers. I think a lot of tweaking will need to be done, or either... I feel like an idiot. You know what you could do? Here, I'm not explaining it because I'm mad that I didn't think about this. So, I have ADHD. I rush through things, I'm not patient, and I don't always think about all the things that I know. I've been using technology, I've been doing photography, all of this stuff for a very, very long time now. In fact, I just got recommended this photo from Google Photos of me 10 years ago in my bedroom as a wee lad in college making YouTube videos. This wasn't the start of my YouTube career. This was me 6 years on YouTube in some form or fashion. I've been around a long time. I don't always think about these things. So then when I encounter an obvious solution to my problem that I just wasn't thinking of because I'm trying to rush through it for the video, I get mad and I don't tell you what I'm doing. So I'm taking our source photo here. I'm going to take it into Photoshop. Obviously, you could use Affinity. I'm still learning. So I default to Photoshop for everything, which is a crutch. We're going to paste it in here. Select color range. Get that pink. Get more pink. Hold shift to add to it instead of just selecting new pink. We're gonna select all the pink. Got enough pink samples. Up the fuzziness. I'm not trying to stop doing that. All right, Wacom, you're killing me. Whack-em, whatever. Whack-a-mole. Select all that color range. Now, I'm going to go through with the quick select tool. Hold Alt to deselect the astronaut. I'm going to add in some of the flowers again that I deselected. This is a rough job. You could do an actual good job at this, but I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. Make a new copy. We're going to make an adjustment layer for hue saturation, create clipping mask. We're going to turn them blue instead of wasting our time. I'm going to Control G, turn that into a smart object. We're going to create a mask. I'm going to fix the weird posterization I did up top real quick. I'm masking away a lot of that purple weirdness. Oh, and I didn't even finish what I was saying about the ADHD thing. One of the things that I frequently forget whenever I'm, as I said, rushing and forgetting things, is that a huge part of image manipulation, be it for getting results in AI, doing my analog glitch art with all my glitch hardware, the thing I always run into is I want to rush into doing the thing. So, generating with AI or running it through my analog glitch gear. And then I'm not happy with the result that I get, and I'm trying to figure out how to get that result better, when the problem is that you just have to do a little bit of prep work or in advance manipulation, or as would be called in a lot of workflows, pre-processing instead of post-processing. Editing a picture you've already captured is post-processing. Editing one you're about to render, altering the graphics before you render some new AI thing would be pre-processing. This is pre-processing. I want to get a blue flower image out of it. I just need to give it a blue flower image. Obviously, this is a lot of work, but if you want to do the thing, the work is worth it, right? I just spent how long waiting on these prompts to generate and still was unable to alter the flowers to blue because it really wanted to stick with the pink flowers in the image. Of course, the answer is to get rid of the pink flowers. Turn them blue. Good enough. It's probably going to pick it up. Export. Export as PNG. I am so often disappointed in myself purely from a sense of why didn't I have the patience to think of it. We're just going to upload this. Copy image link. /imagine. Use that as copy image link. Use that as our image prompt. Come in here. Use everything else the same, including the blue anemone flowers. Render. And voila! We're able to render basically the same image, but with blue flowers. I had fun with this. I'm having a lot of fun with this feature. I think it's game-changing, and the ability to expand my existing photo portfolio through AI, because it's not full-time anymore. I can't go back there and get the same pictures. I think it's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun. This has been weird. Remember to comment, like, subscribe. What year is this? Remember to be kind. Rewind. If you're completely clueless about what to do with MidJourney at this point, we've got a full tutorial course linked below. I will have videos coming on, oh God, what are they called? Blue Willow, maybe. They keep botting my comments, so I kind of don't want to. And Maze Guru. They're free alternatives. Videos coming soon. What a night.